So, guys, I want to talk about something that Dave Meltzer said. And Dave Meltzer was talking about that, it's definitely unfortunate when you have a show like Forbidden Door, which was very well received, and then you have Dynamite shows, and AEW is struggling to get good viewership, and then they're also really struggling to actually get that sold out, really. And and I really didn't like his words because obviously what happened was there wasn't really any solutions. So I want to talk about a couple of solutions that AEW can do. And also, if you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. And, let's make AEW great again. The first thing that I want to say is that it's always good to have cliffhangers in shows. So if you do something like, you have the show end with Will Ospreay going backstage, and then there's some cameras, and then Daniel Garcia appears, or before the match with Swerve and Daniel Garcia. No, before the match between Swerve and Ospreay, you have Daniel Garcia appear, and he talks to Ospreay, and then Swerve says something like him, like say, "Hey, I'm the real champ. Why is it always about him?" And then MGF just taps him on the back. Really, you're doing something called cliffhangers, so that actually works. You actually have Jeff Jarrett do commentary. What if Jeff Jarrett talks about, I wonder who the mystery opponent's going to be? Is going to be this person, that person. So you're kind of having some cliffhangers that lead into the show that people want to see, really. Or you have Willow Nightingale versus, she had that tag team match. She actually wins. And she actually gets the microphone and says, you know what, Chris Statlander, I can't wait to beat your ass the final time at the show, like that. At the show, really. That should be good. The next thing that could happen is that you could actually have Tony Khan come out in the beginning of the show, and he should say something like, okay, for those of you who's going to join us in Chicago, and then some people are cheering, and then he said, okay, for all the people who are going to join us in Chicago, if you are in attendance, I know it's the July 4th holiday, if you are in attendance, we're going to show you the QR code, so that way you can buy tickets to AEW All Out. And then also too, if you're watching and you're not actually in the audience, we're going to show you another QR code later in the show, really. Everybody's going to be getting good seats. We'll make sure that everybody gets the best seats possible. Just watch the show and you're going to get good seats. You never know what's going to happen, really. We're going to be in Washington in a couple of weeks. So, in the Washington area in a couple of weeks. So, we're going to show a QR code for Wrestle Dream. Oh, Grand Slam, I think if you go to Grand Slam, you guys are having full gear in New Jersey, really. So, that could be something where he shows a QR code. He's advertising the QR codes. And I do appreciate this because he's doing one thing that I do not like about WWE, is that he's making you watch the show to see this. He's not doing something like Vince McMahon dialing very, very slowly on the keypad. Beep, 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 beep. For $1 million and other sums of money, really. So I really just think that, those are two ways to do it. I think the other thing that I would say is that you can always show the Dynamite card or the Collision card and other things like that as well, really. So those things are important. And then I think my other suggestion is that you make the shows a little shorter. What would happen if you had this Wrestle Dream card, this Forbidden Door card, you take out, maybe one match that really shouldn't be on the show. What would happen if you took out, the Learning Tree match? You could have taken that one out. You could have taken out Jon Moxley versus Tetsuya Naito. Or you can take out, maybe another match on the card, really. And you said something like, okay, we're actually going to just use that on promos and vignettes to hype up the Dynamite show, to hype up the Collision show. And I also think that, as I said, the other big thing that they don't do with AEW is your next big show is Blood and Guts and Supercard of Honor. And no, Death Before Dishonor. Why you're not advertising Death Before Dishonor? So why not just have, even a backstage promo with Queen Aminata and Athena? Why not have a backstage promo with Billy Starks and Red Velvet? Why not have a backstage promo with Mark Briscoe saying, you know what, I just went through this match. watch Ring of Honor this week, and I'm going to tell you who I'm going to be facing in Death Before Dishonor. It's going to be Death Before Dishonor. What would happen if you have Takeshita walk up to him, and with Don Callis? What would happen if you have Christian Cage walk up to him, and you set up other things like that? Really, so use your pay-per-views to set up your shows a little bit. Maybe just cut maybe 1 or 2 matches out because your shows are a little too long. And that would be that, really. Well, like, look at what you did with Double or Nothing. I think it was like 12:30 or 1 a.m. it ended. So what would have happened if you spent that time, building up? What would happen if you spent that time really building up another wrestler or something like that? So, or like your ROH show or your Collision show or your Dynamite show. And, that'd be really, really important. Or what would happen if you had like a very serious match and, like, let's say you had like a very violent hardcore match, or you had a wrestler get beaten down like Dan Garcia, and you say something like, oh, well, Dalton Castle's here to cheer us up, and then you have Dalton Castle, and then he talks about having a match with John Morrison, or there's going to be a tournament to face like a champion at the ROH show. So yeah, there's ways to do it, really. The way to do it is just to have cliffhangers, build to these other shows, maybe make your pay-per-view a little shorter, just to hype up matches and storylines, have wrestlers there that actually mean something, because there's always wrestlers backstage, really, And then, make sure the big wrestlers or the wrestlers that are big names actually kind of hype something up, so you want to see their show, really. And then have Tony Khan, like, say something like, okay, well, after pay-per-views, when we have a show or other things like that, we're actually going to be showing QR codes and other things like that. Because honestly, that's a way for him to make money off the ticket sales, and then also off the viewership. Like, that's a great way of doing it versus free tickets or other things like that. So I just really think that, there's ways that they can market this, definitely. And then also you have to kind of say, when you look at WWE, what happens after WrestleMania. Usually the show after WrestleMania is really hot and then it fades off. Or sometimes when people are watching the WrestleMania show, they have a few million more viewers, and then it fades off, really, because, some of WWE is not that watchable, really, So definitely, there's a lot of things that they can really do. And I just kind of I think that they take some of my ideas, really. But, outside Dave Meltzer saying it's unfortunate, I think that, you have to come up with solutions, really. So, that's how I think like AEW can kind of like take the momentum from pay-per-views and make their shows better.